Hey, what's up everyone? Danny and Alex. Today, for boxing, we're going to show you guys some defensive techniques. All right, so basically we're going to cover the basic punches and show you just a few of the basic defenses you can do for each one of them. So check it out. All right, so first we're going to cover the basics, all right? So of course, if you're new to our channel, you discovered this boxing tutorial because you want to learn how to defend against boxing strikes, all right? So the basic strikes are going to be these ones we're going to cover today. He's going to have a jab, all right? So he's just shooting out his left straight punch. That's our basic one, that's the jab. All right, then we have our cross, which is the right hand. All right, now we're not going to cover the variations of each, just the basic techniques. We have the left hook, which is the lead hook, all right, here. And now for the purpose of this video, we're just going to throw the right uppercut following this, all right, that right uppercut. And also we're going to throw the lead uppercut, all right? So we're going to call these boxing numbers 1 to 5 just for this video, all right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all right? And of course, when you're shadow boxing, mix and match them. Now we're going to show you guys some basic defenses on each, all right? So the first one is going to be the jab. All right, and this is the most important defense you should learn, and you should invest a lot of time simply because the jab is the most thrown punch when you're going to be sparring. In boxing, the jab is probably 3 times, 4 times more in the amount of thrown punches you're going to see in every boxing fight. All right, so it's very important to understand how to block, evade, move out of the way of a jab. All right, the jabs are very fast. They're not super strong punches, not as much as the right hand, but still, you got to be effective on how to avoid the jab right onto your nose, your face, all right, because they're going to create cuts. So when you're sparring, you don't want to be popped on the jab. Don't forget, if the opponent can reach you with the jab, that means he knows he can reach you with every other punch, all right, because most of the combinations are going to be followed that lead jab, okay? So the first thing we're going to cover against the jab is going to be what I call the catch, all right? So the catch is just this. I'm just going to catch the jab. Catch the jab. Now if we turn on a slight angle so they can see exactly how I'm moving my glove, my gloves are here and my thumbs are facing me. When I'm going to catch the jab, it's important to keep this hand up, but this one here is the one that's going to catch it, and it's going to turn facing the jab, like a catcher's mitt, all right? What I don't want to do now is push the jab. I just want to catch it, all right? So as he jabs here, I'm going to drop this hand so you guys can see. My hand is up here. As the jab comes in, I catch it, and I return back to the initial position. So now you have your guard up, and you catch the jab, catch the jab, catch the jab. Catch the jab, and the other hand doesn't drop here, all right? So a common mistake, people will catch the jab, but they drop this one, all right? Or they push the jab away, all right? We don't want to fly the jab out, we just want to catch it, all right? So if someone's just popping jabs here, just turn your hand in, turn your hand in, turn your hand in. And another common mistake is people overreach to catch it. So then they'll miss, right? The timing goes like this, and then the jab comes right into the face. Boom, all right? They'll miss it, all right? So you want to be just a very subtle movement where if I take my glove off, all you're doing is this. Turn the hand, and catch it. Don't forget, the jab is going to be coming for your face, for your chin, for your nose, all right, right on the forehead. So you want to be able to catch right there. Don't catch here, all right? If the person throws a jab beside you, you shouldn't catch that, all right? Don't even react. Now, the second defensive technique we're going to teach is the parry, all right? So basically all we're doing now, if I show you with my hand here, is the first one was the catch. Now the second was the parry. So this one here, I want to move the jab away. So as he jabs, I'm going to flick it to the side. Slow motion, push it away from me. All right, first one, catch. Second one, parry, push it away. Now, don't push it downwards. Don't do this. Now you're opening everything up. What I want to do is push his hand inside the range of his right hand. So now it's hard for him to throw the right hand. All right, so when it happens fast, you're just going to push it away, but bring it right back. All right, so if I have my gloves here, and he starts slow with the jab, I just tap it, right? Just tap it here. Now a little bit quicker, catch it. Boom, boom. First one is the catch. Boom. Second one, the parry. Boom, push it aside. Now your hand's gonna act like a spring. It pushes the jab, but it comes right back. 1, 2, okay? You have to have your guard up and always keep your eyes on your opponent. Okay, next up, we're gonna move our head. So against the jab now, sometimes you wanna be able to cover. But you're going to get some crafty fighters that know exactly how to counter around your punches, or I should say around your blocks as well. All right, so now what happens is this. If he catches or even parries my jab, and I know he's always doing this, eventually I'll catch on and I'll do something like this and come around. All right, so what I want to do now is move the head instead. Okay, so now we're gonna do what we call an outside slip. As he throws the jab now, you'll notice how I move my head to the outside of his punch, and I'll return back to my initial stance. Now, when you want to slip, it's very important to imagine that you have an asterisk on the ground, and you don't want to move in this direction, in this quadrant right here behind me, like this. Now I'm off balance, okay? Although I made the jab miss, I'm not in position to counter back. So if he jabs here and I move here, very difficult for me to counter. As opposed to if I lean into him and I'm moving here, I'm in a perfect position to fire either a body shot, an uppercut if I'm quick enough underneath, or at very least, as he returns back to position, I'm in position again, okay? So outside slip here, boom. Now, don't keep your guard too stiff when you slip. What I mean by this is some people be so stiff like this in a peekaboo stance. As I slip, I move like this, see? He just caught the glove and now I have two gloves hitting me in the face, all right? If you're gonna be slipping with a peekaboo, you need to be very quick, such as Mike Tyson did that very well, as you're gonna be moving side to side like this. That's a little bit different. That's a different type of slip, which we also imply sometimes, but today I wanna focus on the basic slip, which is the one where we're gonna dip our lead shoulder forward, all right? It's a much easier and safer slip to do. The secondary slip we just talked about is more advanced, all right? So now, speaking of slips, we also can slip on the inside of the punch. All right, so this is the outside slip, and now we have the inside slip, which is on the inside of the jab, and right in front of his right hand. So that being said, I like to use the outside slip, preferably. If you're gonna slip on the inside of the jab, you gotta be aware of the right hand. Now, why would we wanna use the inside slip? Sometimes you just don't have a choice, right? You're moving a little bit and you saw the jab at the last very fraction of that second and just moved on the inside. That's okay, as long as the jab doesn't hit you, but as long as you're aware that the right uppercut or the right straight might follow. So you gotta be aware of that, all right? Always look at the gloves. So the inside slip here, same thing. Don't move behind, right? Don't do this, all right? Move forward. Use this shoulder and dip it forward. Dip it inside the punch. All right, sometimes you slip so precisely, you'll feel the edge of his glove grazing onto your skin a little bit. That's fine. You just don't want it to be flush onto the face. You want it to graze beside you. So once again, as a recap, we have the outside slip and we have the inside slip. Notice how I didn't move my feet. I'm just rocking by bending my knees slightly like this. I don't want to move my feet, okay? So here outside or inside. Okay, now we have other techniques we can use against the jab. The second one, I'll have Alex do this one, is we call a duck, or sometimes just we say sit, right? We just sit down like a squat, but we want to do it into our boxing stance, all right? So if I throw the jab onto his face, he just sits underneath the jab, see, as such, all right? On this one though, you want to make sure that you have your gloves up, okay? So here, boom, again, sit, all right? So this one, you need very good timing to practice. And of course, the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to become. And that's why in boxing, sometimes people think it's all upper body or arms because it's just the boxing punches. But boxing requires strong and enduring leg muscles, right? So sitting underneath the jab, okay? And now, lastly, we're going to talk about stepping back altogether. Now, this one looks simple on paper when you're going to be watching it. Stepping away from a punch seems so simple, yet it's very challenging to do in a real sparring session. But we need to practice this, all right? So basically, when you do your footwork, if you move forward, you're going to use your lead leg. And if you move backward, we teach you to use your back leg, all right? So this is exactly what we're going to do. We're just going to step back against the jab, see? Boom, he steps away. So this one requires good timing, of course, but a good sense of distance, your judgment of that range, all right? So you got to know exactly how much to step, all right? And you want to make sure that you're stepping with your back leg. Look at this. If I extend my jab and don't move Alex, and this is the extension of this punch, all right? That means in this range, I would hit him. Now, if he were to only move his lead foot, I still catch him. Don't lean forward for me. Just stay exactly where you are. Lead foot goes back. Boom. I still catch him. Now, just move your back foot. See? Now his head just moved with his hips. All right? As opposed to the lead foot, where I still catch him. See? Now that little fraction of a second, that little inches are miles in boxing, okay, is going to make the difference between me hitting him with the jab, knowing that the right hand's going to follow, as opposed to me missing the jab and maybe considering not throwing my right hand again, all right? So look again. We're going to step back. Now move both feet. Boom. See? He's out of range. Again. Boom. And this is great because now once you have that good sense of distance, you can play with your opponent, your sparring partner. And now once you understand distance, you make them miss, and then they get frustrated. And then they have to chase you. That means they're going to start to move forward. Then you create angles, right? That's for another video. But for now, the basics of jabbing, the basic of defending that jab is going to be to move your head inside or outside, move your head underneath, stepping back, or even catching or parrying. All right, now we're going to cover the right hand. All right, so that's your cross. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, just like the slips, we can also slip on the right hand. The cross is very straight. A lot of people will throw the cross like this. Very technical, straight arrow. Other times it's going to be a little bit more elbow is up. They go more like almost like a semi-overhand punch. And of course, you're going to have more of a curving right cross. All right, they're all good punches, but the main thing you got to remember is they're all very powerful. So now we got to move or block. All right, the first one we're going to move our head against a straight. Okay, so he chose that cross. Notice how I moved on the outside. Okay, again, on the cross, you want to move on the outside, just like the jab on the outside. I wouldn't recommend moving on the inside of a cross though, because the cross now, a lot of times, what do you do when you shadow box, train the mitts, or even hit the bag? After a cross follows a hook, a lead uppercut, a body shot, all right? That's the combos, jab, cross, hook, for example. You know the left hand's gonna follow, so you don't wanna dip into that punch. I wanna try to move my head on the outside. So if I slip here, now you're probably thinking, yes, the left hook, but now I'm ready for it. If you chose that left hook, I'm out of range again, okay? So we're gonna practice slipping on the outside of that cross, and notice how my hands drop slightly with the shoulder here, all right? I wanna be able to deflect, as opposed, like I said earlier, if I'm here, he hits me right on the glove, and that's gonna have two gloves hitting you in the face. So I wanna drop slightly just here. And now I'm in a perfect range right here, look, to throw that liver shot, throw the uppercut underneath, or even come back with a left hook on top, all right? But the basic, always move your head without moving your feet. I'm in range here, I move outside the cross, and I'm always looking at him in case the left hook or the left uppercut or even the body shot comes back right after the right hand, all right? So that's the first one. We're gonna move out of range. Now, the second way is we're gonna stay exactly in range, but we're gonna parry it. Just like the jab we parried, now we're gonna parry the cross. As he throws the cross, I just tap it to the side. Notice how I just move it to the side. Lead hand takes care of the rear hand. If he threw the left hand, my right hand takes care of it. If he throws the right hand, now it's my left, all right? Never cross. If he throws the cross, I don't want to cross block here and open myself up here, all right? If I try to block like this, now I'm all tangled up. That's not going to work for you, okay? So now, throws the right hand, I tap here. I tap here. Notice how I bring the hand right back. I don't leave it there to pose for a picture. I always bring it back. Boom, back, boom, okay? Now we have the slip, we have the parry, and sometimes when the person curves the punch slightly, if I try to slip and he's going a little bit circular, I'm gonna walk right into it. If I try to parry it, it's hard. See, he's gonna go around it. So this time, of course, now it's a good sense of judgment and it comes with experience. When you see this, you're gonna wanna cover, all right? So this is my cover right here. Notice how I'm using the whole glove, my forearm, and even my bicep and shoulder to kind of like shield myself against his boxing glove, all right? So of course, now, when you do this, you don't wanna do it like this and open up, all right? You wanna make sure the elbow tucks in, and that way there, you don't hide your vision, but you're tucked in just in case you thought it was a cross punch, but it's very a straight arrow line, all right? So you're covering all of them here. Boom, see? Again, boom, again, boom. Now, just like every other defensive tactic, when I block this one, I gotta be aware of this one because after the cross will be the left hand. So if I drop this side here and I cover like this, now I'm not gonna be in time to block the left hook. So my glove has to be here. I might be able to do this, boom, boom, on both sides. So again, outside slip, parry, or cover. All right, now we're gonna cover the left hook. This time we're gonna switch and I have Alex do it. So I'm gonna show the lead hook here. Now, we can roll underneath. This is great. This is a great one. Just like slipping now, you won't want to slip on the left hook because it's coming from the side. He wants to roll underneath. This is a really good maneuver to do, all right, but it requires good timing. Another one you can also do is covering, all right? So now he's going to use, just like I showed you against the right hand, he's going to cover and shield himself against the left hook. See? Boom, right to here. So if I'm aiming for the chin, boom. If I'm aiming for the temple, boom. It doesn't really matter. He's going to just cover and shield. But now you want to make sure that the other guard is up. All right, because after the left hook, something else is going to follow. We're going to cover the uppercuts right after this one. But first, we have a roll underneath, or we also have a cover. Now, of course, if you're covering here, notice we didn't talk about body shots just yet, but if I were to throw the left hook to the body now, he wants to use the same shield using his forearm to block the left hook to the body. But what he doesn't want to do is just drop the hand. You don't want to just do this. If you cover upstairs, you're exposing yourself downstairs. But when you cover downstairs now, you're also exposing yourself upstairs. So you want to kind of find a middle ground where he crunches himself to the side. As I throw the body shot, it's here. So sometimes as I lean here, and if he just drops his hand every time, yes, he's covering the body shot. But now I'm going to notice. So the second time I come around here, I'll feint the body shot and come back upstairs instead. So he wants to kind of be in the middle here. So as I cover here, boom, see? Boom. Upstairs, boom. And that's how we're going to deal with the left hook. All right, now we're going to cover the uppercuts. All right, so right and left uppercut. So just like I talked about earlier, if I threw the right hand straight, he wants to cover it with his left. And if I threw the left straight, he wants to cover it with the right. We don't want to cross block. Now, when we cover for body shots or uppercuts to the body, it's going to be the same principle. If I threw the right uppercut here, he doesn't want to cross block with this one. All right, he's going to come up short because when he turns here, now he exposes himself on this side. So he wants to cover with this one. He wants to shield himself against the right body. Yeah, see that uppercut to the body. Now, even if it was to come to the chin, right, as he shields himself, look, it doesn't catch the chin. His forearm is in the way. All right, so shield up. Now, don't forget, most of the uppercuts are going to be in close quarters. We're fighting inside the pocket. So now, the closer you are with your opponent, the more shielding you need to have. You don't want to have a Mayweather or even a dropping down your hands style every time you're close quarters, all right? Only Floyd Mayweather did that. It's actually the wrong way to do it, but he did it okay because he was so great at boxing, all right? So you don't want to be doing this. So every time you get inside, you want to have closed elbows and shielding yourself because you don't know if it's going to be uppercuts, body shots, left hooks to the head, all right? You want to be able to guard all of those strikes. So on the right uppercut here, look, he's just covering here. As I threw this to the body, covering, or even to the head, look, it's still covering him. If it was the left or the lead uppercut, same thing. Look, shielding himself here. Left to the solar plexus, and he's just turning. Unlike a body shot where I'm coming around here, the left uppercut shoots right to the solar plexus. So I'm turning here, see, boom. And he wants to guard himself against this. He wants to kind of like turn and shield because this is a devastating blow. It doesn't look like much because it looks like it's very short, but I'm telling you, I caught a lot of people just with a small, short uppercut right to the solar plexus, and there's like a 1 or 2 delayed effect where people drop to one knee because it cuts your wind, right? So you want to be able to shield this. Boom. And even if it was to the chin, look, he's still shielding himself and coming back to position. All right? So these are great ways to cover against uppercuts either to the body or to the chin. So once again, to recap, look, he's shielding here, to the face, to the body on the left, to the face. And of course now, when you roll with this, it puts you in a position to counter. If I were to throw the right uppercut here, look, as he shields here, look at the right hand. Boom, all right? And if it's this one, he turns here, look at the left hook. Boom, counter back, all right? So as you're shielding yourself, don't forget, we only talk about basic defenses, but you also have the counters to those defenses as well. All right, we'll cover that in a future video. But for now, basic blocking of uppercuts. All right, guys, so there you have it. Basic defensive techniques against your basic boxing punches. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave us a thumbs up. Make sure if you're new to our channel to subscribe for more tutorials just like this one, and we'll see you
in the next video.
Take care.